morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day. Today is Monday and it's April 6th. I hope you had a good weekend. So today on our show, we will have our regular updates from Jeff Parker. And then we also have the In Your Neighborhood segment. And this time it's going to be with the Reform Temple. We have two ladies who will be talking to us about Passover that starts on Wednesday. But first, let's go ahead and give you your resources in which you could always go to that we've been talking to you about on a regular basis. You can see here behind me, we have the Orange County Healthcare website, which is at ochealthinfo.com. And you can click on that middle button there where it says novel coronavirus and my arrow, and then it will bring you to the next page, which is where you're going to click on the COVID-19 case counts and testing figures. That will give you all of the latest updates regarding how many cases there are and how many tests that have been initiated. And that is at ochealthinfo.com, and then you could also go to ocgov.com. Now we also have our regular updates that you can do, and we have Laguna Woods Village.com, which is the one you see there, which is the coronavirus update. And then today we are launching a brand new microsite called Laguna Woods Village Alerts.com. And when we talk to Jeff in just a little bit, we're going to tell you a little bit about that and what that will include. Now, if you have any questions, you can always send us an email at info@lagunawoodsvillage.com. And then, of course, we have our recorded hotline at 949-268-2019. Well, I don't know about you, but at my place it was definitely raining, so it looks like we are going to have quite a bit of rain here for the next few days. So today we are looking at about 62-52. We've got heavy rain and some thunderstorms. Then on Tuesday we have rain again, maybe some thunderstorms at 62-50. Wednesday, showers and cool, 58-52. Thursday, showers again, so I guess it makes it easier for us to be inside. 58-49. Then by Friday, it looks like we are going to have a break. Partly cloudy, 65-55. Now let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset. Gorgeous photos sent in by none other than, Elaine Scott today. It wasn't Mark. We've got Mark with another one, but we've decided, Elaine, we love this photo. Thank you so much for sending that in. Sunrise is at 6:35 and then sunset is at 7:13. Now, if you happen to have a photo of a sunrise or a sunset somewhere from Orange County, please email it to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. All right, stay tuned. We have Jeff Parker update coming right up after this. We'll see you in a bit.
Communities are starting to feel the financial impact of COVID-19, commonly called coronavirus. But we want you to know that there is help. We have disability insurance for workers who are ill or medically quarantined due to COVID-19. Paid family leave is available for those caring for an ill or medically quarantined family member, and unemployment insurance for reduced hours or lost work. We're all in this together. For information on how to stay healthy, visit covid19.ca.gov.
We consider hearing to be an essential part of your life. During this time of quarantine and isolation, you need to be hearing the best you can to understand how to stay safe and to hear your friends and family. Advanced Ear Care is offering service to everyone that needs help with their hearing aids, no matter where it was you purchased. If it's not working properly, please call for a free troubleshooting appointment. We even have hands-free, no-contact curbside service. There's no charge for this service. Advanced Ear Care is here to keep you hearing during these critical days.
Just wanted to let you know, in the midst of the COVID virus update, we are open. We are seeing emergency treatment. We've taken some extra precautions to make sure that our patients are safe. We're taking temperatures to make sure that no one has a fever, and we're also having patients rinse with a medication called Paroxyl for 30 seconds. And there's a number of other precautions that we've taken here in our office to make sure that everyone stays safe during this difficult time.
Welcome back. Well, I have Jeff Parker here who is going to give us an update on a couple different things that pertain to the Ayers Hotel and some other interesting subjects that we're going to discuss. Well, welcome. Happy Monday.
Oh, good morning to you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Did you have a good weekend?
It was a busy weekend.
I think we still work even though it's the weekend, right? So we're just trying to keep everybody up to date. So thank you for that.
Sure.
So what do you got for us today?
Well, a couple of things. I wanted to make sure our residents understood that we're still in a cooperative effort with the city, looking at all our alternatives that we can take any with regards to trying to curtail this activity that is being proposed at the Ayers Hotel. Mm-hmm. The community is galvanized greatly. We've had a lot of news media. Right. Our residents have come out and had a couple of 3 or 4 protests at the honking horns and bring their cars out to the facility, which has been great because it's gotten the media attention to this very, very strong concern that we have with regards to the potential of the county placing homeless people in the Ayers Hotel who are tested positive already or are showing signs of COVID-19.
Right.
Just not a good location considering the risk that we have here in with this community being the most densely populated high-risk community in all of Orange County relative to our age and people who are at high risk.
Exactly, and we appreciate you giving us updates on that, and hopefully you'll have some additional information come Wednesday when you come back with us.
Correct.
So great. Let's talk a little bit about gates. So is there concern about certain gates?
Yeah, well, when we shut down a lot of our facilities and everything, we were looking at 2 issues. One, we had a lot of gate ambassadors who are our residents,
Right.
And the gate ambassadors work part-time, and a number of the gate ambassadors felt they were more comfortable following the guidelines from the state and the county to stay at home, mm-hmm. which is really what they should be doing in most cases. Mm-hmm. But there were some that wanted to continue to work their part-time hours. Okay. So in order to facilitate that, or at that point in time, we decided to close some gates, partly to limit the access into the village, but also to address our needs in relationship to our personnel. Mm-hmm. When we went through the process over this last week of saying, hey, we're going to have to furlough some individuals, went back to the board presidents and said, hey, we can use some of these employees that we're looking at furloughing. Instead of doing that, we could put them at the gates if they would work out with us.
Right.
In so doing, and maybe we could go back to opening those gates that have been closed, at least within limited time.
Okay.
So gates 3, 6, 8, and 9 are going to remain open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. starting Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be, I think that'll help some residents who are concerned about public safety. How are they going to get into those gates? Mm-hmm. So again, 3, 6, 8, and 9 are going to reopen as of Wednesday. They'll be open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. only. They won't be open 24/7.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And we have been able to coordinate with our staffing the needs to make that happen.
Great.
So we'll be making sure that that's open, making sure that's the ambassadors are there, and it's secure with regards to having people coming in and out of the gates.
Okay.
The second thing that we got a lot of emails over the weekend was the concern with Gate 12. Now, Gate 12 is the gate that goes into the golf course area there. And we've been working with Tony and operations there at Clubhouse 19 to get food delivery out of the restaurant there. Mm-hmm. And so we had the gates open from 11 to 1 and then from 4 to 8 in the evening. Right. But during those times that those gates open, some people have seen people going in and out. And so we're working with our security department to reevaluate that to make sure that we're not running into a problem. We're staffing it with not only the security, but also working with our recreation department to ensure that the access is just for that activity.
Sure.
If we can't control that well enough by the operation that we're doing, then we'll reevaluate that and see whether or not we're going to have to permanently shut that gate down. I see. But at this point in time, I want to let the residents know we're well aware of the reasoning for it being open, which is really to get people access to the restaurant for deliveries and pickup, and that's it. That's the only reason they should be in there. So we're going to work with security and our recreation department to make sure that the parking lots are maintained from that perspective.
Right, right. Well, that's good because obviously people would still like to be able to go pick up their food.
Exactly.
But then you don't want the people who are spoiling it,
and,
to keep coming through. So stay out of that, that gate, gate number 12, to make sure it's only for 19th restaurant for pickup only. So, all right, very good. And then Let's see. You've got a brand new website now, LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com. So why did you guys create a new website? What was kind of driving that?
Well, a lot of questions have been coming in. A lot of information is being generated, not only nationally, statewide, federal, all the health regulations, all the information that we have that we're trying to get out. So we thought putting together kind of a micro website that would provide precise information to the community. It also will have all the TV6 interviews and everything on that website, so people can go directly to that and stay in touch. So if they're missing a live, they can go back to that broadcast. So it's really information based. We want to get as much information out to our residents as possible, and we thought this would be the avenue to best accomplish that.
And you said that that's going to go live today.
It's going to go live this morning, actually.
Oh, this morning. Okay, great. So if you guys want to check that out, it's LagunaWoodsVillageAlerts.com, and then maybe tomorrow or Wednesday we'll go ahead and show them sort of what that looks like and how they can. Okay, well, good. Well, I'm glad you have all that information on there. Anything else? What else?
No, I think, again, to the residents, thank you for your diligence in working on this and your activities. I just want to make sure that you understand that the city and the village are working together to try to stop this from occurring. And we're working all the alternatives to do that, and we hopefully will have some news for you later this afternoon.
Well, good. And, you know, this week is obviously a telltale week from what we understand about some of the numbers, and you know, I think Orange County is doing a pretty good job, so far so good. All right, well, thank you very much, and we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. And remember, we will have more information for you, excuse me, in the next couple of days regarding the brand new website. Stay tuned, we'll be right back after this.
We now know with certainty that starting screening mammograms at age 40 and repeating them yearly has the potential to save thousands of lives every year.
In patients with no risk factors, they should start annual mammography at age 40.
The Society of Breast Imaging, the American College of Radiology, the American College of OBGYN.
Okay.
Their guidelines are that an average risk woman begins screening mammogram at age 40.
Right now it's a very confusing time, not only for patients but for providers, because multiple different organizations are making different recommendations. Right now it seems as though the most general gist is women should start screening in their 50s if they're at average risk. But a lot of women are not average risk. They've delayed childbearing, you know, till they're later in life, so that places them at increased risk. Or they've had biopsies that, you know, show atypia, they have family history. So if they're not at risk, they really should start screening earlier on, like at age 40.
Women should begin their annual mammograms starting at the age of 40.
Well, early detection is key, and we recommend at BreastLink to get mammograms starting at age 40 for patients without significant risk factors for breast cancer, which is in line with the American College of Radiology, Society of Breast Imaging, the Mayo Clinic, and the American Council for Obstetrics and Gynecology.
There's so many controversies, and women are so confused. Even the doctors are confused. The biggest one that comes out right now is this 40 not 50 argument. The government committee is telling women to start mammograms at age 50. We know starting at age 40 saves thousands of lives, and yet
Welcome back. Well, today we have Beverly and Carol here from the Reformed Temple, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about Passover celebration that is coming up this Wednesday. Well, ladies, thank you for joining me. How are you both doing?
Very well. Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Passover and sort of some of the meanings behind it, and what are some things people can do because they really can't celebrate right now, you know, in a normal situation.
Yes, that's true. Well, Passover is going to start on the evening this coming Wednesday, April 8th, and Jews all over the world will begin celebrating this holiday. It lasts for 8 days. Traditionally, the days leading up to the holiday are spent preparing because we separate this time of the year from the rest of the year, both in the foods that we eat and the dishes that we use. Since this takes place in the springtime, many of our homes are decorated with fresh flowers, bringing to mind new beginnings and new life in the promised land. Passover is the holiday which recreates symbolically the story of the miraculous exodus of Hebrew slaves from the land of Egypt more than 3,000 years ago, as recounted in the book of Exodus. We recall the time over 1,000 years after Abraham, when Jews were living as slaves in Egypt. Their leader, a prophet called Moses, was instructed by God to lead the Jews out of slavery and into the Holy Land that God had promised them. The holiday of Passover is a celebration of liberation, the universal desire of mankind to be free. It is a yearning which all people can identify with. On Passover, we are compelled to acknowledge our freedom, but also to note where slavery still exists. As Emma Lazarus noted, until we are all free, none of us are free. Slavery still exists in many forms: human trafficking, child labor, forced marriages, and debt bondage are all forms of modern slavery. That is why the Passover story is as relevant now as it ever was. Because Jews were delivered from bondage, we feel that it is imperative on us to work to set others free. And Carol is going to explain a little bit about the Seder that we celebrate during this season. Carol?
Okay. All right, Carol.
Okay, well, Jews are commanded each year to retell the story of the Exodus so that each of us personally feels as if we came out of Egypt. And why is this important? So that we remember our obligation not to mistreat others and work toward a time when all people are free. Additionally, we rejoice in gratitude in our deliverance. Passover is a serious holiday, but also a joyful holiday. And the main way that we celebrate is with the Seder meal, which is celebrated with family and friends on the first, and for many people, Jews around the world, on the second night of the 8-day holiday. And in a minute, Beverly, I'll get to showing the Seder Plate and what that means.
Oh, yeah, she's got a little sample there.
Right. It is an especially inclusive holiday and is a tradition in many families' homes to invite people who may not have friends or family nearby and have no Seder to attend. Seder means order. And the purpose of this service and the meal is in a specific order and structure to retell the story of our slavery and redemption. It is a symbolic recreation of the story. The Seder consists of prayers, readings, and songs, and dinner, during which time we eat special foods to remind us of our slavery. For example, we eat bitter herbs like horseradish to remind us of the bitterness of slavery. We eat a mixture of chopped apples, nuts, and wine called haroset to resemble the mortar of the bricks that the Hebrew slaves built into cities. We eat matzah, the unleavened bread, that reminds us that when Pharaoh agreed to let the Hebrews leave Egypt, they were in such a hurry that they didn't have time for their bread to rise. And so we eat this matzah to remind us. And we eat this matzah and unleavened foods throughout the holiday. The service and the foods of the Seder are made up of these and many more symbols that help us relive the experience. Now, Beverly, if you would show the Seder plate.
But yeah, tell me what the plate, what are all the little spaces there for?
Okay, so this is a Seder plate, which is found on every Seder table, and it has a special place. All of those little indentations are places for specific foods that symbolize each part of the story. Okay. For example, the bitter herbs for the bitterness of slavery. Mm-hmm. The egg signifying new life and rebirth. The shank bone, which reminds us of the Paschal Lamb sacrifice. Okay. Salt water, reminding us of the tears that the Hebrews shed. Haroset, to remind us of the mortar, and parsley, that reminds us of the new spring season. Okay. Also, there are all different kinds of Seder plates, very traditional ones. Beverly is showing you a fairly traditional ones. There's some very modern ones, and you don't even need a special plate. You can make your own as long as you have all the symbols on it. Right. The other thing that Beverly's going to hold up is something called the Haggadah. The Haggadah, and the word is a Hebrew word that comes from the Hebrew word to tell. Again, it contains the order of the Seder from beginning to end, and the retelling of the story, which we are commanded to do. Right. And there are many. She's holding up two different Haggadahs. There are many different types and many different traditions practiced. Some of the Haggadahs are more traditional, and more of them are more modern interpretations of the significance of the holiday and how relevant it is to us today. Okay. So do you all read that around the table type of a thing? Everybody participates. Okay. And I happen to personally own a Haggadah that has many readings of civil rights from the civil rights era, from Martin Luther King. All right. Again, has relevance to how we celebrate this holiday and why really it belongs to all of us, not just Jewish people. Right. And let's talk about some of the food. Now, hang on just a second, Carol. Let's talk a little bit about some of the food that you guys would normally serve. I mean, obviously the things that you mentioned, but beyond that, Beverly, what are some types of foods that you would have?
Well, different people have different foods all over the world. People practice how they eat a little bit differently. Right. What they eat in Ethiopia will be different than what they eat in Caracas and what they eat in Morocco. Okay. The Sephardic Jews will eat beans and rice during Passover, whereas the Ashkenazi Jews would not. Okay. The dinner basically would be a festive dinner. It would be, might be chicken, might be lamb, might be, which is spring, with vegetables. But the foods that they eat during the ceremony were the ones that Carol talked about. Mm-hmm. You eat some of the roasted eggs, some of the haraset with matzah. Those are the kinds of foods that you. Okay. And wine. Wine is a big thing. Well, we're all drinking wine now. 4 glasses of wine through the ceremony. And some people take that very literally. Right. But, go ahead, Carol. One thing I think that both Beverly and I can relate to is the fact that this, like most Jewish holidays, the food might be modified somewhat, but they're still in a traditional Seder meal would be matzah ball soup, gefilte fish, lamb or chicken, maybe kugel, a potato kugel. Sure. And those are, synonymous with Jewish cooking. And as Beverly says, in other parts of the world, it might be different. But for us and for many of us, that's what we would expect to eat at a Seder meal. Lisa, I wanted to say that this year, when we ask why is this night different from all other nights, which is part of the ceremony during the Seder, there'll be another difference. Normally, our Seder celebrations are spent with family and friends in our homes and in our synagogues. Every year, the Reformed Temple invites the community to join us in our celebration of the Passover Seder. This year, many will be congregating at a distance, connecting electronically over the internet while practicing social distancing. And although we will certainly miss the in-person connection, we will be seeking creative ways to commemorate this special time of year, reaching out to each other.
Good.
There will be many Seders to be joined and watched on YouTube, Zoom, and other social platforms. And the special foods we eat throughout the week are available in our community here in Laguna Woods. Many stores here sell them, and some of them are offering them to be delivered to your homes.
Fantastic.
And I did want to mention that on behalf of the Reformed Temple, Carol and I want to wish everyone a healthy and safe Passover holiday this year.
Excellent, excellent. Carol, last words for you?
Well, I don't think I could say it any better than Beverly has said it. You know, it is different. It provides us with new challenges, but it also provides us with new ways to connect with each other that I doubt will go away when this whole crisis is over.
Right,
so
I believe it. You're right, you're right. I mean, we're so lucky to have Zoom now. I mean, this has worked out very well for us here in the studio because I can interview you guys and talk to you about the things that you're doing. So you're now part of our In Your Neighborhood segment that we've been bringing to you. So I'm very thankful you were able to join us. So you guys have a great Passover. Stay healthy and safe, and we will talk to you again.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Carol. Thank
You
you.
too.
Okay, you too. And we'll be right back after this.
To help stop the coronavirus, the CDC recommends to avoid contact with people who are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, then throw the tissue in the trash. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Stay home when you are sick, except to get medical care. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. For more information, contact the CDC. A message from Village Management Services.
Are you or someone you know facing financial challenges from unexpected emergency expenses? The foundation of Laguna Woods Village can provide the temporary help you need. Food resources, utility bills, medications, caregiver services, and hearing aids. Contact the Village Social Services at 949-597-4267 to see if you qualify. Neighbors helping neighbors. The mission of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We have been proudly serving Orange County for over 40 years. We are excited to announce our Laguna Hills location is now located at a larger state-of-the-art facility, located a block away from our previous location. Our new facility is conveniently located next to Saddleback Hospital and across from Nordstrom Rack at 23961 Calle de la Magdalena. Come join the Circle of Care at Harvard Eye Associates, where the future of vision is today.